Hello, Jason Wishlow with you again, one of the forecasters here at Whitewater Ski Resort. And this is our Backcountry Conditions Report for backcountryskiingcanada.com. So last we spoke, we were having a pretty dramatic wind event. If you guys watched the last blog, weather's kind of mellowed out a little bit since then. Temperatures have cooled. And but a couple of significant things to talk about weather-wise, as well as with conditions in our snowpack. So dramatic wind event really created a lot of variable wind slabs all over our drainage here. And then things, we had some snow in the forecast, but it came in and unfortunately came in as freezing rain. And we had a prolonged period of freezing rain, which created a widespread crust. We've observed this crust below tree line elevations all the way up into our alpine region. And freezing rain crusts can be pretty variable. This one is, below tree line elevations, it seems like it's a little bit thinner. Whereas higher up where it was exposed to a little bit more wind, it's up to 1 centimeter thick and knife resistant. So it's really quite strong, but it is present every aspect and all locations that we've observed. So with that freezing rain crust, it's sitting over some problematic layers we've been talking about. February 1st, another freezing rain crust from the 23rd of January. But this crust so far, I mean, don't put too much faith in bridging, but it is holding the snowpack together over top of those layers. So gonna need a little bit more of a significant load than what we have right now with low density snow on top of it to really affect any of those lower layers. So below tree line, sheltered locations on top of that crust, skiing still pretty good. Wind hasn't got at it, and we have 30 centimeters of really light, dry, unconsolidated snow sitting on top of it. You don't really feel it as much. As you move into higher elevations, high tree line and alpine, some places it's blown right down to that crust and there's nothing on the surface, or just a few centimeters, 5 to 10 centimeters sitting on top where you really feel the crust. And so it's what we really need to watch for right now when we're traveling through the backcountry is freshly loaded wind slabs on top of that crust. And we had a couple days where the wind blew just enough, loaded features, kind of variable aspects, but wind loaded features with some wind slabs that were very reactive on that crust. And we had skier accidental avalanches earlier in the week to size 2, and then later in the week to size 1.5. One event I'd like to briefly mention, we had a skier accidental size 2 just standing right behind me here on Goat Slide, adjacent outside our area boundary here at Whitewater. Another forecaster and I came to clear the slope, picked up a false signal, and activated a search and rescue call because we had a signal, and it caused quite a lot of concern. And we were eventually able, it took us a couple days before we could safely access the slope where we figured the signal was coming from, to determine that it was a false signal. But in that time, exposed rescuers, search and rescue, and all kinds of team members to a higher level of risk. So please, anybody out there, if you trigger an avalanche, please come to talk to us as professionals. If you're at another resort, talk to their forecasting team. Post it on Avalanche Canada, because that information makes a big difference to us when we know who triggered it. We know people involved are safe. If you see an avalanche, somebody trigger an avalanche and they come out safely, again, please come talk to us here at Whitewater or another avalanche professional, wherever it is you might be, because it makes a big difference for all of us in the industry to have that information and keep everybody safe out there. So this weekend, our Cold Smoke Powder Festival, the 22nd through the 24th of February. And I believe that all the clinics now, that it's closed for booking yourself in there, but still love to see you up here if you haven't booked in, and come spend some time at beautiful Whitewater here and enjoy some great snow. Looks like our weather forecast is going to give us tomorrow, Friday. We have maybe 5 to 10 centimeters in the forecast and maybe a little bit more on Saturday. Continued cold temperatures, and I think the skiing should be great. So stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.